first week of Zepbound 5 milligrams, all of my expectations, there's 5 of them. I wish I had known along my weight loss journey. Hi, beautiful friends. If we don't know each other, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 98 pounds the last 23 weeks, or 23 months, not weeks. What am I saying? 23 months of taking, I took Mounjaro, then to Zepbound, then to tirzepatide compound because of the various shortages with Mounjaro and Zepbound. That's the switch up between them. And on this episode, I want to deep dive into 5 expectations I wish I had known that first week of titrating up from Zepbound 2.5 milligrams up to Zepbound 5 milligrams. I wish someone had told me during that titration process, okay, like here, girlfriend, here are some of the things and had the expectations I had, and maybe reroute some of those and change them up. The first one was, for me, immediately when I titrated up to Zepbound 5 milligrams, that first week, I had a massive appetite suppression. Like, it went from my appetite was back at the end, like the last week of Zepbound 7.5 milligrams, that my appetite came back and was like, whoo, ready to eat, honey. Let's get some. So I went from these small portions back to bigger portions, and then going to Zepbound 5 milligrams, large, I went back to being really, really small portions. And there was some sort of, to put it in a classy way, mind effery that happened with that, given my background with morbid obesity and being morbidly obese. Having this like portions, no portions, was a little bit jarring for me. And so I wish I had had, and some people don't have this, by the way. I do always like to say 2 things. One, this is my experience, strength, and hope. You may have a very different experience on your Zepbound journey, but this is what's worked really well for me with my Zepbound weight loss the last 23 months. 2, I'm not medical at all. I will always point you back to your medical healthcare provider to ask questions. This will hopefully help spark for you to have a dialogue with a reputable healthcare provider. My favorite is in the description link below, as is all of my resources I'm going to be talking about on today's episode. But number 1 expectation was a massive change in appetite suppression with my food, and thus that changed my mindset. So for example, previous to starting Zepbound, I was a night snacker. At nighttime, I could easily pound down 500, 1,000, 2,000 calories being morbidly obese. When I started Zepbound, and at the time it was Mounjaro because Zepbound did not exist, and with the shortages, I've had to switch medications around. But Mounjaro and Zepbound are the same thing, by the way, just 2 different FDA approvals for them. One's for type 2 diabetics, the Mounjaro. Zepbound is for chronic obesity management. So changing at nighttime, like that, what do I eat? That expectation changed, like, man, what am I gonna eat? I'm only gonna eat this much, as opposed to eating 2 plates of this much and having a second helping on there. What do I shift with that? And that was really weird for me, to be like, okay, what am I gonna eat? Well, I got you covered, my friend. I have a free GLP-1 dietitian created meal plan for 2 weeks. I paid over $1,000 for it so I could give it to you for free from a dietitian. She created it. I didn't create it. She did, because she's the expert. That is linked down in the description link below. Just click that ... more button, and it's also on countessofshopping.com, my website, for all things GLP-1 to hopefully help encourage you. Because I remember being like, what should I be eating? If I'm only eating this much, I want to make sure it's really nutritious stuff. I don't want to go get a bucket of chicken or like some French fries. You know what I mean? Like, or like Outback's. I don't think I should be having like one of those bloomin' onions. You know what I mean? If I'm only having this, it should probably be something fairly nutritious, since that's the only nutrition I'm going to be getting out of that portion size. And so that for me was weird, to go from Zepbound 2.5 milligrams of having back my appetite to then not having my appetite again. And then that eventually waned. That wasn't for forever. I erroneously thought that that was for forever. I wish it was. That's not been the case for me. I'm now on Zepbound 15 milligrams, and that's definitely not the case for me. Tip number 2 of my expectation was, where are the shots actually going to go? So when I first started Zepbound 2.5 milligrams, I wasn't sure if I was going to be on this medication. Like, I had a box full, of course. I had the first month's box on there, but where was I going to put this daggone thing? And so when I refilled to get the Zepbound, it was Mounjaro 5 milligrams, but Zepbound 5 milligrams, because of the shortage again, that's why. I didn't know where to put the box. At one point, we had my box got knocked with a pizza box, leftover pizza box, and the pens, the Zepbound pens are glass. And so I'm like, I can't have pizza boxes knocking. And this is like liquid gold, honey. I paid for these out of my pocket. I got to make sure I'm putting this somewhere in a safe spot. So legitimately, we came up in our refrigerator to put it in the deli section. Do not put your pens at the back of the refrigerator because they can freeze. If pens do freeze, you got to throw them away, per Eli Lilly. So make sure they're not in a freezing spot. I also have a travel refrigerator. It's down linked on my Zepbound Amazon shopping list that I travel with. But test it out before using any sort of travel container that I recommend to make sure beforehand to make sure they don't freeze. But tip number 2 was, okay, I'm really going to be doing this. So where do these pens actually go? I need to make a home for the box so it's not getting whacked with leftovers or like my kid running in to come get, something to drink out of the refrigerator. Where are they actually going to go? That was really helpful for me to figure out. Tip and expectation number 3 was side effects. So I had different side effects on Zepbound 2.5 milligrams than I did on Zepbound 5 milligrams. And the punchline of that too is as I titrated up to the highest dose, Zepbound 15 milligrams, I've had different side effects all along the way. I erroneously thought they were going to be the same at each plateau. One of the things I have learned is that certain foods can trigger side effects for me, and the most common ones are diarrhea, constipation, nausea. I also really get fatigued pretty badly. And so being prepared for those has been very helpful for me with having diarrhea or constipation. The thing that I bought at the very beginning of my journey was LMNT electrolytes, and I'm so grateful I did. I bought them 23 plus months ago because I knew that high-level athletes had them, and I knew that they would help me if I had diarrhea, and this is gross, but it's true, expelling things out, I would want electrolytes. If I was having constipation, the magnesium, potassium, and sodium from Zepbound Constipation would help with that Zepbound constipation. I don't have LMNT electrolytes every day, but for me, for sure, and before taking any sort of thing, always talk to your own healthcare provider. I for sure take them LMNT electrolytes on day 0, day 1, day 2. Like that's a lock because that helps me with the side effects. Now I take Zepbound LMNT electrolytes because I work out. And so having this for workouts has been so beneficial with the muscle recovery that comes along with it. But at the beginning, it was the side effects. And I think that for me was one of the most important things. Back when I started, they did not have LMNT electrolytes sparkling water. I'm obsessed with the sparkling water. You can see me most days in car pickup line. I will have a can of LMNT in my car. I'm obsessed with them. My favorite flavors are the cherry limeade and then also the watermelon. Grapefruit's really good too. My kid likes watermelon best. My absolute favorite of the sticks are raspberry salt, and yes, they're salty. If they're too salty, what I do is I literally customize it for myself because I'm bougie. No, I'm just kidding. You be bougie with me too. If it's too, electrolytes are magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So the salt in it, there's scientific studies on that. And so I will typically do a 40-ounce tumbler with a full stick. And that's worked really well for me. I like the flavoring of that with my raspberry salt as my typical go-to. So, but my kid, for example, there's no dyes in it. So he just had these for a massive soccer tournament. Guess what we gave him? He gets really bad leg cramps. He had LMNT electrolytes. We gave him, he played soccer for 2.5 hours, all these games. We gave these to him to help prevent those leg cramps, and he didn't have any leg cramps. It was amazing. And so I love it that much that I gave it to my own son, which I think speaks volumes. So if LMNT electrolytes has been very generous to the Countess of Shopping community, go to drinklmnt.com/queen, QUEEN, and get 8 free sticks with any purchase on LMNT. I will also link that hyperlink down in the description link below. Just click that ... more button. You will see me talking about LMNT a lot because I buy their products and love them so much. Right now, I'm actually doing, because it is hot outside, or because it's cold outside, I've been doing the electrolyte, the chocolate medley. It's so good. And I'll put it in my coffee. It's not my first cup of coffee. In the morning, I have like my traditional cup of coffee in the morning. But for my snack, air quote snack, I'll have coffee and then I'll put one of their chocolate medleys, and they have chocolate raspberry, chocolate mint, chocolate caramel, chocolate ones, about 1/3 of a stick-ish around there into a cup of coffee, mix it with my frother. It is so good. Or I'll make my protein coffee with decaf espresso and then a protein shake, and then I'll add a little bit of the chocolate medley electrolytes, the LMNT electrolytes, into my coffee. And again, I'll use about a third of a stick for that too. It's so good. And it's a great way during the wintertime and colder months to have a hot beverage with them, or in the Profi, it's iced coffee, iced espresso. So preparing for those side effects, they were different than they were for Zepbound 2.5 milligrams as part of that. But the other part was some of my side effects gastrointestinally were induced by me. Have you seen that thing where it's like, I am the problem? I am the problem with that, of eating things that were not, like a bucket of chicken is going to make an adverse effect, particularly with a medication that has gastrointestinal things that come with it. So if you are surprised, like, oh, I went to a fast food joint and I had blowout diarrhea afterwards, not to be crass or gross, but what did you expect with a shot that can, if you're not having nutritious food or protein or things like that, that for me, really, really greasy foods, oh my goodness. Or the first time I went on date night with the Count, my hot husband, I had a big ribeye steak. Y'all, it was not sexy on a date night to have to be like, I'm in the bathroom now. And so it was induced with those. And so I want to encourage you, like, making food habits is one of the, and we'll talk about that in other videos, but changing my food habits has been instrumental with this journey. Expectation number 4 is, at this point I had been on, I was only on Zepbound 2.5 milligrams for 1 month, so 4 weeks. I wish I had stayed on maybe, I don't know. I go back and I'm like, I don't want to rewrite history or have revisionist history. I think after that, for me, it was the right choice to go up. But then after that, I would have slowed down on my titration. That's a whole topic for another day. But what I wish my expectation was, is I told no one I was taking these medications. No one in my family knew. I think I told my sister because she's my bestie, but how I told people was when I was on the Oprah show. In March, it was the Shame Blame Weight Loss Revolution came out. No, it was Good Morning America. It wasn't Oprah. It was Good Morning America had me on. And I was like, surprise, I'm gonna be on Good Morning America tomorrow morning. For what? Oh, because I'm on Mounjaro. At the time, I'm on Zepbound now because of the shortages. And so it was a big surprise to my family, like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be on Good Morning America, and oh my gosh, you're on GLP-1 medication. So for me, I wasn't telling anybody, but I was going through these major life changes, and I felt very alone. You don't have to be alone. If you feel alone, join my free encouragement group. It's totally free. I've made that group and created it by design to be a source of encouragement. We have challenges going on. Literally today, there's a new challenge going on for a walking challenge. I gave away prizes. Like, it's a really fun group. And if you're not fun, don't apply. But you have to, it's a private Facebook group. I'll link it in the description link below. There's a hyperlink down there. Just click the ... more button here on YouTube description and it will take you to that private group. You do need to answer all the questions to be in. And if your profile is less than 5 years old, you won't be accepted into the group. If that's the case and you're flagged as spam, just email me. I'll put you in the group. I want everyone, all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table, pending you're nice. I want you there, friend. I want you there. But having that encouragement group, which is why I created it, is a like-minded community of people who want to encourage each other. There's no cost to it. It's totally for free. I spend like 15 hours a week on that group. It's literally like a part-time job for me, but I do it because I love what we give and what we get. And it's a two-way street of giving positive encouragement and taking positive encouragement. And that for me has made a big difference of being with other like-minded people on the GLP-1 journey that I didn't have, and I was by myself and I felt very alone. I knew that more people would be joining 23 months ago taking these medications, but at the time I was one of these guinea pigs where people are like, you're gonna have 5 heads. I'm like, me and my 7 eyeballs, we'll see you later in a smaller pant size. And so this group is really helpful because talking about food, what do you do with your leftover clothes after like going through like just a lot of stuff that comes with this of having a like-minded community. And I'm super social, so for me having a social outlet was really, really important of other people. And as we kind of navigate every month or so, there's new levels. Like the Mounjaro shortage had me go over to Zepbound, and because of the Zepbound shortage, I had to go to terzepatide compound. Now terzepatide compounds are not a thing anymore, really. They're getting eliminated with what's going on with that. And so back over to Zepbound, and then semaglutide compounds. I mean, it's just keeping up with the information and having a reliable, fun group. That for me has been huge. That's linked down in the description link below, but be where the people are, the like-minded people who are fun and nice, and it's a really cool environment. Number 5, sleep. My sleep got jacked. It was the first week of my Zepbound Mounjaro 5 milligrams, but Zepbound 5 milligrams shot. And my sleep, my hormones, I don't know if you've seen Fried Green Tomatoes in the movie where she's like, them hormones, honey. Literally my hormones started to whack out. I started to have, because my eating was changing. And so my sleep got affected. It was crazy. And so I want to share that if you're going through that, and then talking with my healthcare provider more about that. And then 2, I got really bad leg cramps. Guess what? Element electrolytes, because of the magnesium, potassium, and sodium, super, 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 super helpful for me for helping with those leg cramps during my sleep. And so that mitigated itself with taking LMNT. But just having these sleep things, I woke up and I started to have hot flashes, and I hadn't had hot flashes really before then. And then so now, like, I thought I was going into menopause, but I'm not. And so, like, it was just, my sleep is amazing now. I've done several videos. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button. You can see all my playlist of those videos. I mean, there's over 400 to date that I've done to help encourage and motivate you. You can listen to them while you're walking or working out or doing house chores or things like that, or driving, to work or whatever. My sleep got very messed up, and I wish I had known that that may have happened, because my sleep is so important to me. And if it's really important to you too, knowing that that could happen for me was really helpful, particularly for the first week whenever I titrate doses. So not just Zepbound 5 milligrams, but when I went on Zepbound 7.5 milligrams, Zepbound 10 milligrams, that first week for me, there is a whole calibration that happens every single time. And I don't like to use absolutes, but every single time I had the first week, different things happen with my body as a result of having a higher dose. And so I want to encourage you, for me, what was helpful to know, like, that may be coming, it may not at all, but just knowing that it may happen was really helpful to set up my expectations. And also, P.S., for my partner, my hot husband, and for my kid. So they knew my first week, I may not be at full productivity. I'm a very productive person. And if you're watching this and you vibe with me, we're probably like-minded. For me, my most important titles are being a wife and a mom. But I have owned multiple multi-million-dollar companies that I've created from scratch. My work is very important to me. And so not being productive bothers me. And so not having that the first week of taking Zepbound, as I went through each of these shots, particularly with Zepbound 5 milligrams, was good to know. And also for work planning purposes, that when I titrate up, it makes a big difference. Now, I've talked in other videos, for me, the 24 to 36 hours is the most, where I feel the most appetite suppression, and the half-life dose stops at, it goes up to day 5. So meaning I'm less hungry, or I have more appetite. There's less appetite suppression. I'm hungrier during day 5, 6, and 7. And that's totally normal. That's what happens. I was like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. No, babes, nothing's wrong with you. You good. It's just that half-life dose starts on day 5, 6, and 7. And so, like, it goes up and then it goes down. And that's totally normal too. And so planning, because I am a type A planner. Hello, if you're a type A planner in the family, we're all, have you guys seen that where it's like, in the family, in the club, we're all fam. I'm totally butchering that. I totally just butchered that completely. Ignore me, forgive me. I'm not editing that out. But the point that I'm trying to make is that having that expectation, I may not be as productive that first week, and that's okay. Particularly 24 to 36 hours, I may feel a little bit gnarly, and that's also okay too. Honey, I will take diarrhea, constipation, nausea, fatigue, leg cramps. I'll take all of that. Now, there are more severe side effects. Talk to your healthcare provider about those. But for like basic ones, I was like, bring them on. To have this lifestyle change that I've had, that's not it. To go from morbidly obese to then be this amazing woman who can ride horses and ride roller coasters and go play soccer with my kid. And every week I walk 6 miles, one day a week, I'll go walk 6 miles. Like that, I will take having these side effects to be able to do these cool things. So that's what's some of my expectations. There's a lot more. In terms of as I've titrated up, which is why you want to click that like and subscribe button to see some of the other videos, the 400 plus I've talked about with these. As you go through, I have all of those in a catalog for you here and on countessofshopping.com, my website for all things GLP-1 related, to help encourage you, including that free meal plan. You don't have to buy one. You can get 2 weeks worth for free. I've had 2 separate times bought that for you guys, so I own the licensing rights to give it away for free. So then money doesn't become an issue. Like, it makes it for you to be able to have these free resources, free group, free website, free meal plan, all of that for free. Linked down below. But I do want to encourage you, and one of the biggest things for me on my journey was getting LMNT, drinkelement.com/queen, QUEEN. Love their stuff. 23 months ago, bought their products and I'm still taking them because they've been a great tool on my weight loss journey as I go through these weight changes. And gosh, I love them so much. It's made a major difference for me. So, sweet friends, 2 things. We do a couple of things here at the Countess of Shopping community. Your accountability question. What are you doing today? Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Today. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me in the comments below. It will help you stay accountable. And then number 2, our emoji of the day is going to be a green circle in honor of my necklace. I keep getting distracted. It looks like a little stop sign. Red light, red, yellow, green. So our green emoji is going to be the emoji of the day today. That is like our bat signal that you made it this far in the video. If you made it this far in the video, I care about you. I want to get to know you better, and the pattern recognition of seeing your name pop up over and over and over again will help me to get to know you better, friend. But also, I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought, because all are welcome here at the Countess of Shopping table. So I hope today's video has been helpful with Zepbound 7.5 milligrams. And making that transition is an interesting journey. It's been an interesting journey for me, and hopefully for you too. Make sure you ask your healthcare provider before taking any supplements and any medical questions as well, because I am certainly not medical. And I also don't know all of your medical conditions. We very well could have different medical conditions too that would change things around as well. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings, because life is delicious. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, friends. Bye.